Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blogging Theology. Today, I'm delighted to talk again to Dr. Kar Sharif El-Tubki. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me again, Paul. It's a pleasure to be back.
Sharif is a professor of Arabic and Islamic studies at Brandeis University in the United States. His expertise is in Islamic thought, particularly Islamic theology, law, and jurisprudence, and also in the Arabic language, Quranic, classical, and modern, as well as classical Arabic literature and poetry. Now, according to the BBC website, and I quote, June is Pride Month, a month dedicated to celebrating LGBTQ plus communities all around the world, unquote. Today, Sharif has kindly agreed to discuss Islam and LGBTQ, gender, sexuality, morality, and identity. That's the title of his presentation. Now, this is now an incredibly important subject for Muslims to understand because the West, the media, corporations, and governments now insist that everyone, including Muslims, give unconditional approval to LGBTQ plus people and communities. It's therefore vital that we have an accurate and reliable understanding of what Islam teaches from a respected Muslim academic. We need to ask, how did we get here? And realize the importance of getting our conceptual framework right, and explore the Islamic paradigm on sex and sexuality. So over to you, Sharif.
Okay, thank you so much for that introduction. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. Welcome to everyone here today. I'm very happy to be back and to get into this topic, which is a very, very important topic. I don't think I have to explain to anyone why or how important it is, particularly for people who are in the West. The topic has become one that is pervasive. It is omnipresent everywhere we look. And as we will see over the course of this presentation, it is no longer sufficient for religious communities such as Muslims simply to say, oh, well, we don't approve of particular behaviors, just like we don't approve of drinking or premarital sex between men and women. We also don't approve of, homosexual behavior. The discourse on the topic has shifted so radically and so quickly over the last couple of decades that, we're basically playing on an entirely different playing field right now. And there is a whole set of deeply embedded assumptions which have conspired to make this issue something that is very, very different from a simple judgment as to what is, say, halal or haram in terms of behavior. Of course, according to Islam, essentially that's, what we're dealing with when we're talking about particular behaviors. But there is so much more to the issue than that. That it is no longer sufficient for Muslims just to stop there, both in terms of explaining our position and our religion, frankly, to those who are not Muslim, and increasingly also within our own ranks, particularly among our youth who have grown up in the West or in Westernized environments. As we will see, the contemporary LGBTQ discourse is basically, it's put out as a moral discourse. We are given to understand that this is a question primarily of equality, of dignity, of human rights, and so forth. And that if one does not approve, for example, of particular kinds of behaviors or relationships, then one is actually opposed to all of these things that are otherwise wonderful. I mean, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "A'ti kulli dhi haqqin haqqah," give every person his due right. So we believe in giving people their rights. We believe in justice. Justice is very central to Islam. It always has been. But the discourse is put across that defines justice and equality and rights and compassion and dignity and so forth in very specific ways, which actually are at loggerheads with Islamic understandings of these concepts and also make mincemeat, frankly, of traditional Islamic understandings of things like gender, sexuality, sexual moral norms, and so forth. And so we really need to dig deep in order to have a proper conceptualization of what it is that we're actually dealing with today.